Welcome learners, I am Dr. Preeti Rani. Today we are going to talk about organ donation and its ethical concerns. Let us start our lecture with an example. Let us take the case of Steve Jobs' liver transplant. You all know who Steve Jobs is. He is the co-founder of Apple. He received a liver transplant in 2009 after battling a rare form of pancreatic cancer. His transplant took place at the Methodist University Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. Jobs' case highlighted the life-saving impact of organ donation, especially for individuals facing terminal illness. His decision to seek a liver transplant emphasized the importance of organ availability and the ethical considerations surrounding organ allocation. The case also brought attention to the disparities in access to the organ transplants, as Jobs was able to register at multiple transplant centers to increase his chances of receiving an organ in time. This raised questions about fairness and equity in the allocation process. Now let us understand what organ transplant and organ donation is. Organ transplant is the process of transferring organs or tissues from a donor to a recipient, typically to save or enhance the recipient's life. It's a critical medical intervention for addressing organ failure, extending life expectancy, and improving the quality of life for recipients. And what's organ donation? Organ donation is the first critical step that enables organ transplantation, which can dramatically improve or save the lives of patients suffering from organ failure. Now, which organs can be donated and transplanted? There are a number of organs: lungs, kidney, pancreas, heart, intestine, thymus, liver, gallbladder, stomach, eyes, ear, nose, and skin. Now, there are different types of organ donation. The donated organ may be from a deceased donor, a living donor, or an animal. In some cases, an artificial organ is used. So, depending on the source, there are different types of donation. Let us talk about the first three: deceased donor, living donor, and a pair donor. We'll talk about the animal donor and artificial organ donated later on. So, let us start with the living donation. So, living organ donation involves the donation of one of the paired organ, such as kidneys, or a portion of an organ, such as a lobe of the liver or lung. The donor's organ system is still able to function after the donation. In 1954, Dr. Joseph Murray performed the first successful kidney transplant between identical twins, Ronald and Richard Herrick, at Peter Bent Brigham Hospital in Boston. This groundbreaking surgery was a milestone in transplantation and demonstrated that organ donation could save lives without immediate rejection. Second form of the organ donation is disease donation. Organs are retrieved after a donor has been declared brain dead or has suffered irreversible cardiac death. Tissues may be recovered from donor who die of circulatory death as well as of brain death up to 24 hours past the cessation of heartbeat. We can take up an example here. Following a tragic car accident, 13 years old Nicholas Green became a hero when his parents chose to donate his organs. His heart, liver, kidneys, corneas, and pancreas were transplanted into 7 Italians, sparking a significant rise in organ donation awareness in Italy. The third type of organ donation is paired donation. This is also known as kidney exchange. This involves 2 or more donor-recipient pairs who swap donors to find compatible matches. The National Kidney Registry in the US has facilitated numerous pair kidney exchanges. For example, in 2015, a chain of 34 kidneys transplants involving 68 people across 26 hospitals broke the record for the longest kidney transplant chain, demonstrated the effectiveness of paired exchanges in overcoming donor incompatibility. Now, there are some key ethical principles which are involved in organ donation and transplantation. There are 4 key ethical principles: autonomy, beneficence, non-malfeasance, and justice. Autonomy is involved where respecting the individual's right to make informed decisions about donation. For example, the autonomy of a living donor deciding to donate a kidney to a stranger. Beneficence involved obligation to do good and save lives through donation. You might have seen advertisement where famous personality plead the masses to donate the organ for the larger welfare. Non-malfeasance is involved in ensuring no harm comes to the donor or recipient. Fourth ethical principle involved here is justice. Fair and equitable access to organ transplantation for all. There is a debate over prioritizing organ recipients based on medical need versus time on the waiting list. Looking at these 4 key ethical principles, we can see what are the main ethical concerns related to organ donation and transplant. There are 3 major ethical concerns. One is related to consent and autonomy, another one is related to allocation and fairness, and the third one is related to donor recipients' rights. Let us discuss all these 3 ethical concerns in detail one by one. Let us talk about consent and autonomy. Challenges arise in ensuring proper consent, particularly when there is a conflict between the donor wishes and family's preferences. Similarly, honoring the donor's autonomy is critical, yet complex, especially when registered donors' wishes are overridden by their families. Here we can take up a situation where a deceased individual's documented wish to donate organs clashes with family members who oppose the donation. This conflict highlights the need for clear, legally binding consent processes. The Jahi Mehmet case served as a poignant example where a young girl was declared brain dead, sparking intense debate about her family's refusal to consent to organ donation despite medical definition of death. Now, talking about the allocation and fairness, we see that human organs demand usually exceed. Ethical questions regarding efficiency and fairness arise as to how best to distribute these limited resources. On what basis should this person rather than that person be chosen to receive a given organ? These decisions are serious as they can involve who will live and who will die. Now, what's the criteria used for organ allocation? Organ allocation systems are designed to ensure that organs are distributed in a manner that is equitable and maximize positive outcomes. Key criteria typically include medical urgency, the likelihood of success with the transplant, the patient's overall health, and time spent on the waiting list. Systems often use objective measures such as lab results and medical evaluations to determine these factors, aiming to prioritize patients who are most in need and who are likely to benefit the most from the transplant. Now, what are the ethical concerns about prioritizing certain patients over the other patients? Now, ethical consideration in organ allocation involve debates about how to balance fairness with the need to prioritize patients who may have a higher chance of survival or better quality of life post-transplant. Some argue that factors like age, lifestyle choices, and previous health conditions should influence prioritization, while others contend that all patients should be given equal consideration regardless of these factors. Now, there are socio-economic and racial disparities in organ allocation. Socio-economic and racial disparities can affect organ allocation in several ways. Studies have shown that people from lower socio-economic backgrounds or certain racial groups may face longer wait times or have less access to transplantation services. These disparities can be due to a variety of factors, including differences in access to healthcare, geographic location, and systemic biases within the healthcare system. Now, moving to the ethical factors associated with living donor and deceased donor and the animal donation, let us see the ethical concerns related to living donors. There are some benefits also. Okay, so first let us talk about the benefits and then we'll see the downsides of living donors. Benefits are like the donation can be pre-arranged, allowing the patient to begin taking anti-rejection drugs in advance, thereby increasing the chances of success. There are often better matches between donors and recipients with living donation because many donors are genetically related to the recipient. They are generally family members, immediate family members or relatives. There are other also psychological benefits for both the donors and the recipients. Now, there are some ethical concerns involved here. First and foremost is the physical and psychological risk to the living donors. Living organ donation involves inherent physical risk such as complications from surgery, infection, and potential long-term health issues related to removal of an organ. Additionally, psychological risk includes stress, anxiety, or depression that may arise from the donation process or from concern about potential post-donation health issues. Second, there is a coercion or undue pressure in the decision to donate. Ethical concerns arise when potential living donors are subjected to coercion or undue pressure to donate. This pressure can come from family members, societal expectation, or even medical professionals. A family member may pressure a potential donor into donating an organ, perhaps using emotional appeals or threats of family discord. In some cases, medical professional might inadvertently pressure a patient into becoming a donor by emphasizing the urgency of the situation or implying that their donation is crucial for the recipient's survival. Ensuring that donation decisions are made freely and without external pressure is essential for ethical practice. Donors should be given ample time to make an informed decision and should be able to withdraw their consent at any time without facing negative consequences. Now, third factor involved here is ethical concerns regarding financial incentives or compensations. Offering financial incentives or compensation for living organ donation raises significant ethical concern. While some argue that compensation could elevate the financial burden of the donation process, others worry it might exploit vulnerable individuals or lead to commodification of human organs. Most ethical guidelines prohibit financial compensation to prevent potential coercion and to maintain the altruistic nature of organ donation. Now, let us look at the ethical concerns associated with deceased donation. Why does ethical question arise when donor is no more alive? We might think about it. So there are ethical concerns as organ and tissue donation involves making a decision about how someone's body is to be treated after death. Organ and tissue donation may be seen as one of the last act of the person who donates. It's a decision about how that person wanted to live his or her life and be remembered in death. It's also an ethical decision because it is intended to benefit others, the recipients of organs or tissues by transplantation. Organ and tissue donation is a decision which will affect those who are left behind after someone has died. Since the issue of organ donation often arises after a sudden and traumatic death, the feelings of the bereaved family are very important. There are other ethical concerns also that are involved in determination of the death and dead donor rule. So what's that? The dead donor rule states that organs should only be removed from patients who are confirmed dead, ensuring that organ procurement does not cause hastened death. This rule is based on principle that ethical organ donation should not compromise the donor's right to life. A controversial case involves the 2008 case of AD, where questions arose about the precise timing of death declaration. Now, there are also concerns about organ harvesting from donors after cardiac death. Organ harvesting from donor after cardiac death, which is also known as DCD, involved ethical concerns related to the timing of organ removal. In DCD cases, organs are removed after the cessation of cardiac function, but before irreversible damage occurs. So there is a concern that this approach might compromise the donor's dignity or well-being if not managed with strict protocols to balance ethical consideration and methods needed. Now let us move to the ethical issues involved with the xenotransplantation. What is xenotransplantation? Xenotransplantation refers to the transplantation of organs, tissues, or cells from animals into humans. This approach is pursued to address the shortage of human organs available for transplant. Advances in genetic engineering and immunology are aimed at making xenotransplantation a viable and successful medical practice. The use of animal parts such as insulin extracted from animal pancreas and pig heart valves are already accepted medical treatments. Some argue that transplants between species does not justify such experiments, which so far do not offer hope of therapeutic benefits to the human recipients. Defenders of such experiments argue that they can be justified if no other alternative are available and for the knowledge gain. Some have questioned whether such transplant involve irresponsible meddling with nature. Various animal rights groups have protested the sacrifice of animals involved in this and other research which uses them as mere means to human welfare. So the use of animals in xenotransplantation raises ethical concerns regarding their rights and welfare. Issues include the conditions under which donor animals are kept, the impact of genetic modification on their well-being, and justification for using animals and organ sources. For instance, there are debates about whether it is ethically permissible to subject animals to invasive procedure and genetic alteration for the benefit of human patients, potentially compromising the animal's quality of life. Now, there are also concerns about cross-species disease transmission. One major concern with xenotransplantation is the risk of cross-species disease transmission, where pathogens from animal donors could infect human recipients. For example, there have been concerns about the transmission of viruses such as porcine endogenous retroviruses, which are also known as PERVs, from pigs to humans. Ensuring rigorous screening and monitoring to prevent such transmissions is critical to address these risks and maintain the safety and effectiveness of xenotransplantation. Now, talking about the artificial substitute for organ, the shortage of various human parts for transplant purpose has also motivated research in the development of artificial and synthetic substitute for tissues and organs. Artificial replacement technologies are generally very costly to develop. If they prove to be successful and are mass produced, their long-term cost can be significantly reduced. A number of routinely used replacement technologies, such as long-term renal dialysis, however, remain expensive. Now, we have already looked at, ethical issues related to the donor, whether it is living or deceased or animal, or there is a artificial organ involved in. Now, there are some ethical issues regarding the recipient. A competent person who could benefit from receiving a transplant should be informed regarding the benefits, risk, burdens, and cost of the transplant and aftercare. No unfair influence should be put on someone to be a transplant recipient. Recipient and their families can be tempted to pressure, blackmail, or bribe a potential living donor to donate a healthcare professional to give them a privileged position on the waiting list. So such practices are unethical because they fail to respect the freedom of the donor, or they violate other potential recipients' rights regarding access. Now, there are some other ethical concerns involved in with the concept of organ donation. There is organ trafficking and exploitation is a serious global problem involving the illegal trade of human organs. It often involves the exploitation of vulnerable individuals who are coerced or deceived into selling their organs. This illegal trade operates through a network of intermediaries, including brokers, medical professionals, and criminals who facilitate the procurement and transplantation of organ in exchange of money. The World Health Organization, WHO, and the United Nations have established guidelines and protocol to curb illegal organ trade. In some of the country, only the family members can donate the organ. So this is also one of the way to curb this kind of organ trafficking and exploitation. Countries are also increasingly collaborating to tackle organ trafficking through joint efforts such as Declaration of Istanbul or organ trafficking and transplant tourism, which was adopted in 2008 by the Transplantation Society and the International Society of Nephrology. This declaration advocates for ethical practices in organ transplantation and calls for stronger enforcement against organ trafficking and transplant tourism. Now, there are some, religious and cultural perspectives are involved in, and they also raises some of the ethical concerns. So, ethical consideration in organ donation must account for the diverse religious and cultural values that influence individuals' decision, because some of the religion might allow organ donation and some of the religion might not allow the organ donation. So respecting these values involves ensuring informed consent and providing culturally sensitive support. In many cultures, individual beliefs about death and afterlife can impact attitude toward organ donation. For instance, some cultures may view the preservation of the body as essential for spiritual reason, leading to reluctance or opposition to organ donation. Now, let us summarize the whole discussion on the ethical concern related to organ donation. There are ethical concern in organ donation encompasses a range of issues, including the fairness of organ allocation, risk and pressures faced by living donors, and the complexities of deceased donor management. Key concerns include ensuring equitable access to organs, preventing exploitation and coercion, addressing cross-species disease risk in xenotransplantation, and combating illegal organ trafficking. Each aspect involves balancing medical needs with respect for donors' rights and ethical standards. Now, we also understand that looking at the ethical concern involved in with the organ donation, there is an importance of ethical guidelines and policies in organ donation. Ethical guidelines and policies are crucial for ensuring that organ donation practices uphold principle of fairness, transparency, and respect for all individuals involved. These guidelines help to standardize practices, protect donor rights, and promote trust in the organ donation system. By adhering to established ethical frameworks, healthcare systems can better manage the complexities of organ donation and address the challenges that arise. Now, one need to encourage continued dialogue and education on organ donation ethics. So, ongoing dialogue and education are essential for advancing understanding and addressing ethical issues in organ donation. Engaging stakeholders, including healthcare professionals, policymakers, and the public in discussion about the ethical practices help to refine policies and promote best practices. Continued education ensures that all parties are informed about ethical implications and evolving standards in organ donation, leading to a more ethical, effective organ transplantation system. Thank you everyone for joining for today's lecture, and here is the reference list which you can use for the further reading on organ transplant and ethical concern associated with it. Thank you once again.